Can there ever actually be too much of a good thing? The question has floated around for many years, with equally as many answers. But maybe a real world example would help make things a bit clearer. What about empath relationships, for example? Can two kind and caring people be too similar for their relationship to succeed? Or is this actually the perfect blueprint for a healthy relationship? We think we finally cracked the code to this age-old riddle, but we'll let you be the judge. Is this the perfect relationship? Stick around until the end and decide for yourself. Number 10, expect a lot of pets. One of the best parts of a relationship between two empaths is their outward way of expressing love. Most human beings, especially when they've experienced loss and heartbreak, tend to close off and become less trusting as they age. But the opposite is true for empaths. A relationship between two empaths is bound to be filled with pets, as both parties love to express their care and affection publicly. Pet allergies or a dislike of animals is a very common reason why many couples break up. But if you are dating another empath, you should be ready to welcome some new fuzzy creatures into your life. In fact, the only problem is this kind of relationship is usually centered around the pets getting along with one another. Empaths in love tend to show that love not just with their partner, but also with the critters and creatures around them too. Number 9, the pursuit of shared happiness. The idea of independence in a relationship between two empaths is a little different than your standard relationship, and that's the same for happiness too. While most relationships go through periods where one partner is happier than the other, that isn't as common for empathetic relationships. The idea of being happy while your partner mopes around the house isn't all that enticing to empaths, who are easily influenced by those around them, and they will instead focus on cheering up their significant other. If you consider yourself to be a pretty reserved and closed-off person, you probably wouldn't survive for very long in a relationship that demands mutual happiness as much. But empaths wouldn't have it any other way. They want to move forward together and don't want to succeed in spite of their partner. They really do have a leave no one behind mentality when it comes to the people they love. Number 8, intimacy is hugely important. Most people value physical and emotional intimacy in a relationship, but empaths take things to a whole other level. In general, empaths value physical intimacy a lot, and their sex lives tend to be pretty active as a result. Empaths are people who pride themselves in building spiritual and emotional connections with one another, and the culmination of that work pays off in the bedroom. Empaths want to be present for the needs of their partner, and they also want to make sure that their partner is happy and content at all times. Two empaths entering into a relationship with one another will focus heavily on their ability to be there for the other person, and this ability to anticipate needs and interpret emotions helps them to feel closer to each other quicker than the typical couple. Number 7, things may come up sooner than expected. While empaths may move quickly in their relationship, that speed may not always be welcome for both parties. Empathetic relationships tend to be tricky in the beginning because of this, especially when it comes to conflict. A problem that empaths frequently encounter in their relationships is their ability to intuit information working against them instead of for them. For an empath, they may see your issues or struggles very quickly and ask you about them even though you might not be comfortable talking about them. Empaths don't do this as a way to prod or upset you, but because they don't realize what they're asking or bringing up is a touchy subject. As a result of this ability, their relationships with one another tend to result in some pain early on, but creating some boundaries and clearly establishing them has proved to help quite a bit with that. Number 6, there will be a quiet peace between them. Empaths are very loving people, but they also feel everything a bit deeper than the rest of us. As a result, an empath may need more time to themselves than a regular adult, and they will sometimes retreat to a quiet place to catch their breath. In a relationship, these breaths are a bit harder to achieve, especially when two people live together. So a quiet sort of peace needs to be achieved relatively early on. Partners who are both empaths may read books together, or do independent activities in the same room so that they can recharge their batteries a bit. People who aren't as familiar with empaths may find this strange, but to an empath, this is an easy way to spend time together before you're ready to truly hang out later. By the way, make sure to subscribe if you've learned something new today. Number 5, nature will play a big role in their relationship. If you aren't a person who likes to spend time outdoors, you probably wouldn't last long in an empath relationship. These couples get a lot out of nature, and use it for a ton of different reasons. For one, nature just makes sense to an empath, who tends to get a lot of peace and quiet out of spending time outdoors. Much like with pets, empaths love plants and other living creatures, and also feel a deeper connection to nature than the rest of us. This all boils down to a lot of trips to camp or hike outdoors, and empaths wouldn't have it any other way. Number 4, bad days usually mean together days. We all have bad days, and sometimes all we really need during those times is space. While this can definitely still be the case for two empaths, chances are they are going to want to get through things together. Empaths have a hard time hiding their emotions, which is why they can seem bubbly one second and pretty drained the next. Empaths aren't trying to hide their feelings, and they especially aren't trying to keep them from their partner. If an empath is having a bad day, their empath partner is too, and they will almost always choose to get through things together. The frustration in loving an empath here is that bad stretches can last longer as a result of both of you dwelling on it, and it can still sometimes be a lot of effort trying to shake the both of you out of a particularly bad bunch of days. Number 3, there isn't a lot of lying or cheating. Empaths tend to be drawn to one another, and a big reason for that is just how much easier it is. Empaths have a profound knowledge of pain, and they know how much it can hurt. As a result, empaths are usually pretty considerate to their loved ones and partners, and they don't often lie or cheat either. Empaths are very honest too, so the level of trust in this type of relationship is also off the charts. You should have plenty of faith in your partner here, and if they have a problem, they will definitely let you know. It makes for a very different environment than the normal dating pool, and it is also why empaths tend to date within their ranks. Number 2, dating each other can be very validating. Empaths often share similar traits, and this can be an incredible advantage to dating another empath. When an empath falls in love, for example, that is a much bigger risk than it is for the standard person. Empaths can carry a bit more baggage because they fall in love quickly, and they fall in love hard. Despite these strong feelings, an empath doesn't usually get it in return, which is why dating another empath can be extremely validating for them. They don't have to worry as much about what makes them different, and can celebrate the things that make them unique instead of trying to hide them. On the flip side, even the pitfalls of dating an empath are easier when you both understand the situation. Things that break up most couples can actually strengthen an empath's love, leading to a really fulfilling and deep connection. Number 1, the relationship can be freeing. When you are free to be with a person who truly understands you, the resulting feeling can truly be out of this world. Empaths often have to adjust their personality to avoid overwhelming others, but they can now be themselves for the majority of the time. As a result of their passion and optimism, empaths usually move things along at a steady clip, forming a lifelong bond in just a couple of months in many cases. This kind of relationship is often freeing for the empath, as it feels like things suddenly make sense for them. They are free to love in the way they want without feeling like they are embarrassing themselves or making a scene, which is a great sight to behold. Empathic relationships may have their issues, just like every relationship, but they also have a tremendous foundation of love and passion to start with, making them one of the most interesting couple types in the world. And if you like this video, then check out these related videos to see more, and make sure to subscribe and leave a comment saying, "I subscribed," and we will personally reply to your comment.